President's keynote speech on Thursday was absolutely packed. To watch the former President George W. Bush speak at the ISSA Show 2018, hundreds were there just listening, trying to find out what he had to say, especially when it pertained to the cleaning industry. People filed out of the speech, continuing to talk about everything they saw up on that stage. He spoke about his father and the book he wrote about him. He said he hopes the decisions he made leave a lasting positive impact, and said he looked up to his father for his decision-making process. President Bush also spoke about his mother and her passing, as well as his wife, Laura. He said her support in being such a good mother was paramount to his success. He spoke about women empowerment and believes women will be leading the democracy in countries around the world. He said anyone excluding women from decision-making is making a grave mistake.
It was a great move to have him here. His kind words about women, about how he talked about his mother, his wife, and how he's empowering other women. So it was great.
He talked about his appreciation for veterans and a little bit about his foundation. He also spoke about his children lovingly, and all the while had great humor and was very witty. Here's what attendees had to say about his speech.
Yeah, he's always, I remember him always having a good sense of humor, yeah. I thought it was excellent. I like listening to him talk about leadership, both within the business community and internationally and so forth.
I was surprised. I didn't know about it, and my boss told me, "Are you going to go watch W speak?" And I go, "Who's W?" And when he mentioned the president, I was like, "Wow, that's impressive." So very neat. I think it's the first time I saw a president in person, so pretty interesting, and it's pretty eye-opening.
It was absolutely incredible. It was very inspiring to hear him, and what I loved most about it was when he mentioned how important it is that Americans give back and not wait for the government to give back. So when I shook his hand and I met him and I said, "I'm Debbie Sardone," and he said, "Oh, I know exactly who you are." And he said, "What I said from the stage was for you, that we need to give back, not wait for the government to enforce it or require it, but just give from the heart and be generous to help uplift other Americans."
He touched on Social Security and immigration and the importance of a fixed system for the cleaning industry specifically. He said media has changed since his time, and the addition of internet and social media have had negative and positive impacts. Another topic President Bush touched on was the presidency. He said what's important is the institution of the presidency, not necessarily the occupant.
His message was more individual, and how we can kind of help the country, and how we can kind of take responsibility as individuals to make it a better place. So it was a pretty interesting speech, for sure.
I think it was wonderful to bring in President George Bush, because our nation needs to heal. There's so much division, and he was there to say we all have different opinions, but we all have something to contribute. We're Americans. We can do good in the world. We can do good in our country. And it was a very unifying talk, and very inspirational. No matter where you stand politically, you could get something from his talk that you could take back and be a better person and do better in this world.
He talked about a lot of the situations that we are passing through these times. He made a lot of sense. Humanity is very important, and that's why we have to come up, that we are not alone in this world.
He said that he's navigated this world by believing in a higher power and that all life is precious. He says that he voted and urged everyone else to do the same. Don't forget, if you missed anything, you need some recap videos for the week, you can visit ISSATV.com. For ISSA TV, I'm Sarah Strackhouse.